back to It's All Related with me, Sonia Choquette, where we talk intuition, real life, and the beautiful, messy, magical journey of trusting your vibes. I'm your host, Sonia Choquette. This week, I am back in London, but talking to my beautiful daughter, Sonia, in New Orleans, which I am missing because I had so much fun. Hi, Son.
Hi, Mom. Oh my goodness. It feels like a dream. It feels like a dream that you were here. We had so much fun. And I am actually packing right now because I'm going to London
I'm
on
so glad.
Monday to come spend time with the family. But I was so grateful for your visit, but I'm just reminded again and again, especially when we're with my family, like I'm with you or Sabrina, of just when you're with others who really trust their vibes and who are in that, it's how much easier it is
Oh
to
my
get into
God.
flow
Then
in the
you
world.
get into super flow.
I know we did get into super flow.
We did get into super flow. In fact, this is one of the things I want to talk about this week is since I got back, I've had a couple of podcasts and both in person and Zoom, and the major conversations I was having with these lovely hosts was, I hear you, I believe you, I want to, I'm afraid to.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking one of the things that we were really enjoying last week, and I enjoy all the time with Sabrina, and we go even to off the charts together, is we're not afraid to. And it's just a different way of living. It puts you in such a free flow. It's just one magical thing after another. Like, let's tell them about our flow day.
Oh my gosh, we had so many different things that were in flow that I almost was like, I should have written all of them down. But I'd say one day that really stood out in particular. So I live in an old school building and we have no door, we have no bells. You have to have the door code. So a lot of times USPS, when they need a package signed for, they just leave a ticket. They don't even try and come knock. So I finished my readings. I'm going to pick up my mom. We're going to go have a nice, cute little mom and daughter date. And dang, this package that I have been waiting for forever has been missed. There's the tag. So I go pick up mom and I say, what do I say? I said, let's go track it down.
Yeah, she said, let's go find the mailman. Let's go track this down. And we didn't even know when she had left it, but we both first said, check the vibe. Yes, it feels like she's around. And you don't even know what their route is.
No, I have no idea how long it's been. And so
or you never even met her for that matter.
No. So even the fun thing too is like, when I see this as intuitive people, all of a sudden it's like, it's a game. And it's not a silly game. It just engages our place of curiosity, play. So both of them, I turn to mom, I go, where do you think they are?
First of all, the intuitive response is, let's do it.
Yeah. Like we're going to find this mailman.
Not like we had this other plan or whatever.
True.
No.
True.
We got to this is the invitation of the moment. So we put our vibes in and we're driving and was like, okay, north, south, east, west.
East, west.
We drive a few blocks and you see a mail truck.
Yep.
Zip right over. The minute we get pulled behind it, the mailman walks out. You jump out of the car, you show her the ticket, and it's not her, but she knows exactly who it is.
Mm-hmm. She was like, "Oh, you're talking." Yeah, she's like, "Oh, you're talking about Debbie. Debbie covers blah blah blah. So she'll be on the east side of Laurel." I mean, it was just like almost like in a fun movie. I was like, let's get back in the car. Let's go. Yeah, we got this. Skirt.
Like a scavenger hunt or something. So we're like in the car. She's go. So we get in the car. Okay, this side of Laurel. Now we have another 12-block radius.
Yeah.
It's not like we've narrowed it down from the entire 5-mile radius. We're now down to 12 blocks. So we're having fun. We're driving along and block by block. Should we turn? First scan in the street. Should we turn? Should we turn? Finally,
check it.
We both say,
with each question, what we're both doing is just checking the vibe, checking the fields, like scanning like radar.
I'm scanning the right side. You're scanning the left side. Finally, we both say, okay, turn. Let's turn. We agreed. But at no point is it an argument. It's like, okay, we never stepped on the brakes. It's just, there you go, turning, still
or
scanning.
Assume that we weren't going to find her. I'm like, we will find, you're going to find her. It didn't cross my mind.
Neither. And we're like, now what, 4 minutes into it, 4 minutes into it.
Yeah.
This is quick. We scan, we go a few blocks, we scan, it was like, we need to turn back. All of a sudden, it's not on the radar. So we do around the block, turn again. There's the mail truck. There's the mail truck. It's like 2 blocks.
Mm-hmm.
But we would not have seen the mail truck had we not gone around the block.
Exactly, because she was tucked behind at the very end of the road, tucked behind all these cars with this tree that kind of, it enveloped the mail truck. So we had to go a specific way.
That is very New Orleans.
Boom.
That's very big old draping trees. So we
and also potholes.
Way. Right. So we go around, we get parked. Now we have maybe 5.5 minutes into it. We pull up, the truck is parked. We don't see her, and you say, okay, I'm going to go look for a parking space. We're fully prepared to get out on foot. You start to pull over. There she shows up. She just pops out of between 2 houses.
Exactly. And not only was it wonderful because I got my package,
right?
But now I've made friends with Tiffany, my mail person, who now she knows that for me, all of my packages that need to be signed for in that place, she can sign and leave in my safe mailroom because it's like a very locked mailroom. And so not only was I got my package, but even better than I could have expected. She offered.
And
I didn't ask.
Most of all, we were thoroughly entertained.
Oh, it was so
we
fun.
We laughed the whole time, and you walked away with your beautiful package, and you made friends with the mail, so you will have no future problems. And we are only 10 minutes into the car.
I just picked up Mom. And this is it's again, the fun thing.
That's the in the flow, the way you can go and you trust your vibes.
Ooh, so, I like that. In the flow, the way you can go. Oh, I love it.
We're cruising along.
Yep.
We're cruising along off to, we think, a bookstore.
Yep.
And we're driving along, and I'm looking at her driving, and as I look past her, I see this glint in a window in a store, and I said, we should go there.
And let me just say this too. This is a store that's in my neighborhood that is on Magazine Street that I have passed, I can't even know, countless times. I've lived where I live for over 5 years. This is the main street, and I have never even seen this store. It isn't even on my radar.
And there was nothing about it that has any particular signage. It's just a white
building with a little display window.
And I don't even know why I needed to say that, but here's how you go in the flow. I didn't have to explain. You didn't need an explanation. You just pulled over and parked.
It was I have passed the store. You said, what? We said, we should go here. I'm like, where up? And I said, oh yeah, wow, skirt, pull into a parking lot, but I didn't even think about it. It was like, it's almost at 20 miles an hour, skirt.
We pull into a parking lot next to it, stroll in. We don't even know what kind of store it is.
No. But guess what? That when you're not only intuitive, but with other intuitive people, which is why it helps to superpower, the energy is yes.
It's the yes flow. So we walk in the door, immediately are greeted with some super lovely people. So
Shout out Roz and Bonnie.
Roz and Bonnie. They're not, what we're seeing is not particularly anything that would appeal to us except one pair of boots.
That I love.
The kind you only have found like in New York or in Paris or London.
And boots that I have been found. Hold on. And not only that, boots that I have been looking for and eyeing. There was Steve Madden collaboration with a design. Yeah, thank you. With Rick Owens. I was having a brain fart right there with Rick Owens. I have been eyeing these boots and they have been sold out in my size.
For years.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're sold out.
We walk in, they're tucked in the back. Chatting it up with these women. They're having the time of they're so nice to us. Then
wonderful.
Your size.
Yep. I'm a tall person, and I also have a big foot. Let's just put it that way, and let's just be real about it. I am a tall woman with a big foot, and so finding shoes in stores for me, finding cute shoes that don't make me feel like Bozo the Clown is a miracle.
Here's the best part. Braz is also a tall woman. And so am I. So we had the best time having the conversation about how tall women never can find cool shoes in shoe stores. And as the store owner, she made sure there was a tall woman shoe size availability. So it's like, not only did you find that, but it's a place to check in the future.
Yes, yes, and like exactly, it's like, and it was beautifully curated. That then the salesperson finds a sweater for me that was like pulling a needle out of a haystack. Where I'm like, this is super cool. I love this.
Very original, made by a local artist. Then it gets better. So the other woman that's working there,
We're checking out.
she's checking out and she's looking at the sweater. And then the next thing you know, she says, "You guys are really wonderful. What do you do?
Well, yeah, what brings you to New Orleans?
What brings you to New Orleans?"
What?
Yeah.
And my mom is visiting me. We're chatting it up, and so and they ask, yeah, what do you do? What do you guys do? What do you do in New Orleans? What? So of
Right.
course,
You say, "Well, we're intuitives and we write
yeah.
books on intuition. We have a podcast," being kind of vague. And this woman goes, "Oh my God, I was just talking about how I need someone just like you, and especially someone who is an animal intuitive."
She was saying we were just talking about what it is that we do, and she was like, she's like, I was just having this conversation about trusting in our higher power and just all of these. It was like our exact language that we're talking about.
She was talking with us as if we were talking about what kind of milk is on the table, or
your
just
favorite, everybody's favorite movie. When you realize everybody has the same exact favorite movie or TV show, you're like, let me talk about this and this and this.
But then we passed on the name of our favorite animal communicator, Tammy Hendricks. Shout out Tammy Hendricks.
Tammy, she's incredible.
She's incredible. She's in Carolina, and it's North Carolina. And so next, made best friends, got your boots. She got her animal communicator. We know where Sonia wants to shop for cool shoes. And off we go. We were there maybe 30 minutes.
Oh, and now I have new friends. We have new friends. We have new friends. We have new friends. People.
And then she said, "We need to go to one of your workshops." My friend was just saying, "We need to go to one of your workshops."
No, even better. We go down, first we go shopping. We continue our shopping day. We are in high vibe flow. And what was so cool and so wonderful was you got recognized by a few different sweet people who
like 3 times.
Yes. Yes. And so
that's never happened.
No. And it's never, no, that's never happened.
Not in New Orleans.
But it's not even about necessarily, being recognized, but it's almost like being like
people.
high intuitive to high intuitive to high intuitive to high, like.
Yeah, it was like being in your neighborhood, saying hi to your friends, walk in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Like being in Mayberry.
Yeah. And it was just such a wonderful, just wonderful. It
was a
wonderful vibe.
Connect the dot of everything in flow. And we'd only been in the car 90 minutes.
100%.
In and out of church. And just had the best. We were just
the best time.
It was like good vibes created more good vibes. We were in super good vibes.
Yep. And the following day I had to actually switch out the boots for a different size. They'd gotten too big, which, wow, I was surprised. But of course, the moment we walk in, there we see beautiful Bonnie and Roz. And Bonnie is, we are in a rush. We have an appointment. So she's scanning things. She says, hold on. I have to tell you guys something. And we're like, we will come back. I'm so sorry. She stops mid-transaction, again, comes back around and says, you'll never guess. I had the crazy. I'm sitting at lunch with my girlfriend and we're discussing different things. And her friend was reading Mom's
She said, I
book.
just met this great mother-daughter.
Yes.
Who were in the store. And then she said our name and her friend pulled out Trust Your Vibes out of her purse. Said, I'm reading this book.
And she was like, I just met them. And it's like that. It's like that.
Well, that's the point. It's like that. So it's to give you an example of what it lives to trust your vibes, and go with the flow. Get like
in a very
trust what you
small
know.
way.
And here's the deal. The point being, at no point did we sit and discuss it. He's
No,
like, go here, do that, start there, say yes, let's go. And there was no ego control.
no, no.
It was
And
just like, if it's a vibe, and that's how my mom raised me. If it was a vibe, we all go with the vibe. There was, it surpassed any other plan. The
and
vibe.
yeah, exactly. Surpass the vibe. And even more beautifully is another point to that. It's like when we follow our intuition, it is a lot of really little, often little, no big deal, no big deal,
Yeah, these
no
were not
big deal
monumental,
ways.
consequential choices.
But
They
it's
were
the
just
energy. It's the
because
energy. You
it's
feel it.
following the
You
flow.
feel it. And you feel it. It's like, because it's resonant. It's, when we're talking about people are like, oh, is it just coincidence? Oh, you just ran into the male person or this or
No,
that. But even
but
if you go one further, go ahead. Go ahead. We both
I
are
just
so
said this
excited.
one guy. We're so excited, but I was talking to this guy yesterday, who was also. I was on a podcast with Michael Sandler, Inspired Nation. Shout out to him, and he was saying it's like its own language. And I said, it's right.
Yes.
It's like, it's not English or your language that you were raised. It's a language of vibration.
Spirit. Yeah.
We were
100%.
speaking vibration. We
Yeah.
were
And it's
talking
like
all day
music.
long.
It's
Vibration.
music. And it's music. It's like you follow the flow, you follow the guidance, and then you dance with the universe. And
then
other
you
thing
laugh
that I
a
want
lot.
to, yeah. And the other thing that I want to say is, when we connect to your spirit, to your intuition, it's like that's an extension of your spirit, and that is centered in love, like universal divine love. That's the highest vibration. So not only, like in my experience of following the flow, did all of these wonderful little, no big deal things happen that for me, I'm like, those are my things. But it created connection and community. Now I have my friend, Tiffany, the male person. Now I have Roz and Bonnie at the beautiful spot down the street. Now I'm connected to, there's another cute little shop. I mean, it just kept going. That
And it was
expanded my world.
So much fun.
Yes. Hello, my sweet friends. It's Sonia Tully. And here's one thing I know for sure. Your head and your heart are meant to be the best of friends. And when you live life inside out, your head and heart are one. Being an intuitive, connected soul is all about remembering who you are and uncovering your gems. It is my mission to help you trust your intuition so that you can plug back in and reconnect to your authentic self. If you're ready to move into ownership of your intuitive gifts and get out of your own way, my intuitive mentoring programs are healing, fun, and expansive. Get clear on your real goals. Stop people pleasing. Gain confidence in your intuition, quiet your anxiety, and reconnect to your creativity and power. I know life is messy. It's messy for me, but in the mess is where we find the magic and where we're meant to dive in and find our treasures. Being spiritually connected and divinely guided is the best way to deeply love ourselves and move in the world with confidence and ease. There is nothing I love more than helping people live spontaneously and awaken their inner guide. I can't wait to help you come home. Visit my website, soniatully.com, to learn more. And while you're there, download my free guided meditation and workbook so you can harness the power of your intuition and learn about the ways I can work with you so that you'll dance through life with clarity and confidence.
And here's what was fun for me. Okay, so the ego conversation, and especially concerning America right now, but not centered, is so negative. Everybody's so polarized. It's so negative. I don't go to America very often. That's why it's such a fun deal that when I go, because I go once a year. It was so positive, connected, fun, across the board. Nobody was having a problem with anybody. And the entire time we were there, the experience was we were all just people making life better for one another, for this entire week that I was there. It
Yeah.
was fabulous.
It's
And that I feel is what happened wherever you lived, anywhere, when you're going with the flow, when you're saying yes instead of no, and you're going with the flow.
yeah, I love it. It
Just
no,
had to rhyme that.
I love that. As you say, it amplifies. Like it amplifies. It amplifies the
Yeah.
goodness. It's easy. That's the thing. When you're really in flow and and it's like moment to moment in your day, it's easy. It
And
becomes
everybody was
easy.
jumping on board.
And helping out of the
Jumping
woodwork. Let me
on
help you with this and
board.
this
And then
and
this other guy, this woman, we parked to go to the bookstore to buy books for the kids, for the grandkids. And then this woman on the street waves, love you, Sonia. I'm just walking by. And then this man who's with the son walking into the bookstore says, well, are you somebody? And I said, I just write about intuitive things. And we started talking, and he
a
was telling me
whole
all about his
conversation.
whole conversation with his 3-year-old son. Then I found out where he shops for cool things for the kids, because we were looking for Christmas presents and we wanted not just ordinary stuff. So we
Right.
got all kinds of insight from him. It was just like swinging from vine to vine, tree to tree, it was quite fun. And we knew it
Yeah.
was a vibe.
Well, we feel it. And that's because we know it's not,
Mm-hmm.
is it a vibe? When you're really turning on your intuition, I feel like because I feel like a lot of times when your spirit and that part of yourself has been buried, it first starts to come back online, often when you really need to make a change in your life.
Big time.
And that's really like a wake
This
up call.
this is when I
Yeah.
was talking to the wonderful person that had me on her podcast, Fern Cotton, here in London. She was saying, I'm going through a big change. I'm getting a divorce. My kids are getting a little older. I know what you're saying is right, but I get scared because I've been so trained a different way.
Yeah.
And she says, how can
how can
I?
I trust? How can I trust my intuition?
And I was asked by another person today. It's
Same.
just all it's same. She said, how come, what keeps us from trusting? And I said, well, what if you, and then she said, what is the difference between if you do trust your vibes? I said, you just know it's all going to work out, and it's going
Yeah.
to be very entertaining in the way that it does, and it's going to be better than you planned. And that has consistently been true for me and true for us
Yes.
forever.
Yes.
It's going to be better,
Mm-hmm.
better than you planned, and enormously entertaining.
And outside of even your wildest imagination. And that doesn't always mean it's going to be easy.
Not easy.
Because sometimes like I'm thinking about for myself, just it's like there's a whole range. It's like following your intuition. It can be on a deep level of needing where like your soul growth. That this is an invitation of where your soul needs to grow. And that means that you have to follow your little light as you're in what feels like the dark night of the soul for my human parts. It's like, what's going
Right.
on? What's happening? This is hard. I'm having to pull all these different things apart. But when you go outside of the head level and go to your heart and go to your intuition, it's like, no, I'm on track. Keep going. That's for me, even just having that relationship with your spirit.
It's so
Yeah.
important what you're saying. This reminds me, I was having another conversation with a woman.
You were social chit chat. You were working,
and
chatting
this is so different because I'm always by myself. And all of a sudden, in the last 3 weeks, I've talked to more people.
I love it.
Was having coffee with this other woman, and she said, well, what is it like? And I said, well, I want to, there's a lot of confusion. And I said, I was being interviewed by yet another person after I went through.
I love this, Mom. I'm so proud of you.
This interview reverts back a few years.
Okay,
I just
so proud of you.
just written the book, Walking Home. Now, I knew he didn't read the book because this was the book about how I went through my life meltdown.
Oh my gosh, but I love it. He's interviewing you. It's like a book report, book review, and he hasn't done the homework.
But he knows I'm psychic. He knows I'm intuitive, right? So he says, and this is classic because I know a lot of people think this who aren't aware and didn't dive deeper. He said, well, how could because my dad died, your Uncle Bruce died, my brother, then I got a divorce, then lost everything. He said, well, if your vibes are so good, how did that happen to you?
Yeah.
Well, how did you not avoid all that? And I paused for a minute and I said, well, what part? How did I make my brother not die? How did I make my dad not die? How did I make sure the person I married would always be who I wanted him to be? This is not how vibes work. Vibes will
No.
take you into difficult situations for your growth and teach you how to
Yes.
navigate it and show you how to extract from life the gifts, not
Absolutely.
avoid life or use it as some guarantee that you won't have challenges, because life is temporary. There will be challenges. It's going to have beginnings and endings. So that's
And that's all, but
another
that's also
obstacle.
part of it. But like, even just with that,
Right.
it's of having, you know, I always say it takes courage to incarnate into a human body. It does, because what
Totally.
part of it is that we are in soul school and our soul is here to learn lessons. Now, this is not punitive, like at school. If you don't do your lesson, you're going to get in trouble, or that we're going to teach you. It's like, I always think of it as like, your teacher that says like that energy of like, don't run across the street, or don't
Mm-hmm.
disparage yourself, or, some of
And
those
besides, the
different
worst
things that,
punishment is summer school, which is reincarnation.
yeah. Yeah. And it's summer school. It's not even reincarnation, but like at that same time, like I think of myself and this is the base note. This is what I'm talking about of
Mm-hmm.
when it's challenging, when it's really challenging, when we're starting to come back online, and it's like, not only how can I trust, but even like moving here for me, my head, I moved here sight unseen. I would not expect to move here. And it was a real disruption for just the whole family, because I literally went backpacking, was expecting to go home, and with my partner, long story short, wound up in New Orleans, wound up in divinely placed house. If you've heard other episodes, I'm not even gonna go into that, but my partner was traveling at the time and I was here alone. And I knew no one. I worked by myself and I was like, I'm going to be here a year. But every time I would be here by myself and my head would go, what the hell are you doing? Where are you? Why have you
Why are
done
you
this to
here?
yourself? You made a huge mistake here. You're isolated. You were living in but I would feel all of that. The liminal space that was necessary for my soul growth. But if I went to my spirit, my intuition, is this true? Is this
Right,
where I
good,
need
just where
to
I
be?
belong.
Right at this stage. And it was always yes. And I had to get through that birth canal, that now in retrospect, not only can I have compassion for the struggle, but I'm like, of course, thank God,
Right.
because it opened
Well,
myself to a
exactly.
world that it had me grow in a way that I needed.
Mm-hmm.
I've blossomed, and I see that as tied to this place, to
You
the
developed your
thing.
own identity, you developed
Yes.
your art, you developed your community, you developed your own voice, and you came from a family, including me and your mom and your dad and your sister, of a lot of loud voices.
Yeah, totally.
You
We
needed
are,
your own.
yeah, and we are opinionated, just as we
Mm-hmm.
talk about in our family. It's like we have our own pets, we have our own
Right.
intuition, but we're not afraid to be honest with one another. And sometimes it's like we
Mm-hmm.
get into our own pet fights of like
Exactly.
but at the
But the
same
point
time,
is
once
that
we
the
got into that
ego,
quiet,
well, it's just like you were saying, the ego and your emotions were just confused, but your vibration, your core vibration of your spirit said, hang in there,
yeah,
stay here.
and
And that is something you need to distinguish, is like, which channel am I listening to? And if you're going to be
absolutely.
listening to your ego, you're always going to be a bit defended and disconnected. If you're going to listen to your emotions, you're going to be bouncing like a ball on the ocean, a beach
Really.
ball on the ocean, and you're going to be nowhere. But if you listen to your core frequency, which is what your intuition is that core vibration of you, your first language, it stabilizes you in all that uncertainty.
Always. Always,
And
always.
eventually, as you get really connected to it, all that uncertainty starts to go away.
Yeah. And
It takes a while. You
yeah,
have to learn it.
yeah,
That's what I've been teaching for 50 years. It's like,
I know.
and so here's the thing that's different. And we'll talk about this a little bit because what's really changed is people really lately, and I got asked this again and again and again, is I want to learn. I need help to learn. I
Yeah.
need to overcome all the obstacles. And that's what we've been doing. But then I got the inspiration. Well, I'm going to teach the people who trust their vibes to become the next teachers.
Mm,
So we need a whole army of people
we do.
out there
We do.
saying, trust your vibes. Here's how. Not let me help you, let me solve your problems, but let me help you reconnect to your vibes. That's the
Yeah.
shift.
Huge. And even as you're just speaking, because I'm like, there are all sorts of different levels, but it's not about information.
At all.
Even just the other day, even last night, I went to improv and I popped into this, there's a spot, St. Rock Market across and many moons ago, I met this gentleman real quick who just a very bright light. And we connected on Instagram, but not that grounded. And it's not that he's not intuitive. It's it's like the end, it's hard because especially when you're teaching, when you're empowering, when you're really leading an intuitive life, we also have to have a super solid foundation and super solid roots so that we also don't
They
get
can trust that.
and elect because it's
Well,
navigating other people's energy fields and to be a
and not getting
teacher.
pulled off. So that's
Yes,
what I've been doing. That's what you've been doing. And now I'm thinking the world needs a lot of people to lead other people, not to follow them, but to lead them back to themselves.
absolutely. As what was it? As you always taught me that I think you heard from your teachers was a good teacher will set you free. A
Always.
teacher will
And
set you
so
free.
4, 5, 6 times. And this is what I've been hearing for months, which is why I've just been and have decided that the next thing I'm going to do, and it's going to be starting, I'm going to put the shout out in January and start in February, is the certification training for people who who trust their vibes, who know what we're talking about, who are saying yes, 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 but now think, well, maybe I could help those who don't know how to say yes.
And in true
Maybe
leadership.
this could and really help them by mentoring them back to their core frequency. And that's how we're going to change this planet. So
Absolutely.
just a quick shout out to anybody who's listening. If you want to say yes instead of no and get in the flow and you're already doing it and you want to do it more and you even might feel it's your purpose in life and you would like to have a little
You need a
training
good
to
teacher.
how to
You
do
need a
it
good
well and
teacher.
get a good teacher like I had.
Me
I
too.
had then in the show notes here you're going to find a link to sign up for this. There's a 3-day masterclass coming in January 20th, 21, 22
I'm
that will
so excited.
give you the tools to trust your vibes, but more importantly, give you the path forward if you want to make this your purpose in life to empower others. So
Absolutely.
that's what's coming up.
Absolutely.
And it's called the Gifted, Grounded Intuitive Facilitation and Training. So the
Oh, I
Gifted
love that
certification, be a
title.
gifted intuitive guide. Grounded,
I
intuitive
yeah.
facilitator and trainer of others for their vibes. Because this is something the world doesn't have.
Yeah.
Not in a really grounded way. And it's something we need, not just be clairvoyant, because that's still one step away. It's like get to the core vibration of who you are
And
and
not just
follow
learn
that.
information. And not just learn
No,
information. Because
go
even
to
for
the core step.
yeah. Well, the beautiful incubator that Sabrina and I were raised in, that was not as our classroom, but it all, and it's because again, it's not about just reading or this or that. It's just with even in this of really living an intuitive life or in that spirit as a teacher, as a leader, you embody an energy and a frequency
Yeah, you
that
speak
is
vibration.
yeah, that's just a different it's different musical. notes. I always just think it's like maybe like a discordant minor might be your pet, that your head,
Right.
another
Right.
one
It's
might
just
be your
throwing noise in.
emotion, but like it just going up an octave. It's like, then there's our first part where we're starting to follow our vibes, but it's, you keep, as you keep getting higher in that vibrational state, how you dance with life, with the universe, how you lead, how you connect is a whole different world. And I'm so grateful, because even despite everything, even here of what's going, it's like going on in the States, whatever,
It's not
leading
going
with
on
that
for
place.
everybody.
And I
That's the
know,
point.
yeah, exactly. But it connects. I will always find goodness. I always find support. I always find magic. I always find miracles. I always
And
find things that,
community
exactly. I mean,
and
honestly,
common ground.
I got
We
new
don't know what,
friends.
and we didn't ask, who are you? What do you do? It was just, we're vibing. We
Yeah.
are connecting and we are communicating heart to heart instead of roll to roll, soul
Yeah.
to soul.
And
So
I'll just
this
say
is,
one last thing when we're last, I know, because we have to wrap it up in a second here, but I just want to say this about, you can sign up for the masterclass, but because it's not about just learning tools and skills to be a true teacher and a leader. And I think this is what you learned from Charlie, from your mom, from all of your teachers, from all the classrooms. What you really taught Sabrina and I is there's a level of integrity, and to be a good leader, teacher, you have to also do your own work. Because what I often see is there are so many wonderful, sweet, people in the world who I talk to often who want to, they want to do intuitive work and they want to do this, but they haven't actually done even their own work that allow them to embody a frequency of being able to empower and lead people, because
by
they
example,
themselves are often, because often if you're not clear and you're trying to read, you might just be projecting your own stuff onto
which is
someone
a
else.
lot of the reason why people discount intuitive
Yeah,
people or say that's just nonsense, because sometimes it is.
I
So to
know.
be a really, to truly lead as an intuitive, vibrationally informed, I call it now vibrationally informed person, that you
Oh, I
are
love
not,
that.
and isn't that good?
It's true.
That you clear your own noise. So even in the training, I broke it down into three things. First, clear your own noise and get connected to self. Second, build the bridge to accurately see the other. And then third step, help them clear their noise and get
I
connected to themselves.
yeah, because
Then you've
it is.
empowered someone so much that they will always then be able to come back to their own frequency and find their way forward.
And you stay in yours, and you
And you
stay
stay
in
in yours, and
yours.
then you set them free, and then we've helped. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh,
And
it's just
it
like
just brings so much joy.
and it's in the way you're naturally designed to live. Like, this is not special. And I'm like, just when you're talking about
It's
being,
hardwired.
it is. And when you really start to use your awareness and pay attention, really start to like give, like, it's like, oh, I'm just turning on my intuition. How do I, all these things. Look, be scientific. Don't let your intellect that will dismiss everything play.
That's
Be,
so last
be,
century science.
it's, and what's wonderful is it's of just how we live. It's like every single aspect and facet. It's
Yeah,
not just a one thing. It is in every single part
it's
of
the
who
world's
I am.
vibrational. We're
Totally.
just learning to live vibrationally.
I'm
So
so excited. I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited for this training. I'm so excited. I'm so
me
excited for these different
too,
workshops, because
and
I'm gonna help.
you're going to be right in the mix of it and a lot to contribute. And so
I'm
will Sabrina. And we're just showing you it's the new way.
it is.
It
It
is the
is
age. We are in the age of intuition. So
the
with that, I
age
don't
of
know that so
Aquarius.
we're just going to say the quick tool of the week is don't say no, go with the flow. Just
Ooh,
go
that's a
with the
good
flow.
one.
Don't say no. If you get a vibe, don't say no.
Don't say
Don't
no.
just try the little stuff because it'll lead to the bigger stuff. Now we have to really be quick, but do we have a question of the week?
We do have a question of the week. And our question this week is, okay, quick story. I've been planning a trip to Mexico for 2 months and kept it a surprise for my kids. It took 6 hours of travel, and it was time to see a bite and the moon and stars in the clear skies. In the middle of the night, everybody, including myself, got sick. We didn't make it the entire night before we even all had to decide that we had to fly back home. It just wasn't meant to be. And I had the feeling we shouldn't go, but I was sold on the trip and everybody was so excited. I was forcing it, and my spirit was trying to tell me no. My question is, how do you tell your spirit I should have listened? How do you say sorry?
I think that you don't need to say sorry. I think your sickness was enough sorry and penalty. I think instead you need to say thank you. And next time I will listen. Instead of feel like you don't have to punish yourself. The drift already, I mean, the woulda, coulda, shoulda school is something everyone will go through, but you don't have to stay in it. If you got the vibe and you didn't follow it, you didn't have the tools and support at the time. But now you have the life experience underneath your belt that will make it easier as you go forward. So don't apply the old school right, wrong punishment rules to living in an intuitive flow way. You say, okay, that was a good way to learn that. Not the easiest, but I did learn. And thank you. I'm sorry for myself that I had to learn that way, but message received, lesson learned. Let's move on and let it go. But have a change of heart in that when I get a vibe in the future, I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to say no. I am going to go with what my vibe says and not what my pre-plan says.
Absolutely. And I just feel like, look, you're applying earth plane rules, patriarchal old school rules to the divine realm. Your spirit, your guides, your angels, if you don't follow your intuition and you had a woulda, coulda, shoulda moment, there's no part that's like, told you so, or you didn't listen to me, or you should have known better, or shame or judge, or you have free will choice. That's another part. As humans, we have free will choice, and the whole constellation of the divine supports that because it'll never force. So you don't need to apologize. As Mom was saying, you need to forgive yourself because, as you said, you had the vibe. And that's where we're even just talking about some of those places of okay, because it's hard. You've invested. You're excited. It's a surprise. You have a whole idea of all this time and energy and effort to make a beautiful experience. And you get a vibe that says we shouldn't go. And so we have to navigate our own energy, our own disappointment, the change, the flexibility of being able to follow that. And so it's understandable. It's good. And it's a good information and a good affirmation and mirroring of just how intuitive that you are. So you don't have to punish yourself.
That was just that classroom.
And now, funny story.
I've even written about that. I've called it the fool's tax.
It is.
Fortunately, you only usually pay it once.
You do.
But we all have had that. You have to pay it once, or I knew that and I didn't listen. And that was how I learned.
And it becomes a good story. I love a good story where it's like, and I just knew. I knew my vibes. I knew it.
And that was the day my life changed. Never again was I going to ignore it, is the end of this story.
I love that.
That's the important thing.
So be kind to yourself. You got it. And so, I love you so much, Mom. I'm going to see you in a few weeks. And, just real quick, if you like the show, please rate, subscribe, leave a review. It helps us more than you know. Please write us a question, and it's all related podcast questions. You can also DM us on Instagram, leave a comment on YouTube. We absolutely love to hear from you. And I say, Mom, I just love being in flow with you.
Love it. I can hardly wait till you're here and you've got your sister and your little nieces.
I can't wait.
We go. It's going to be quite a wild ride. I'm really looking forward to it. So next week,
we'll see you next week. All right. Sending you all my love.
Good.
Love you, Mom.
I love you. Love you, everybody. Bye.